Sitting in this studio, so many things come across my desk, and one of them is the word good. Everybody's doing good. Everybody's got a good organization, good company, good product, good team, good culture. Is it that easy to do good? We're going to see if we can unpack that a little further. Leadership, loyalty, and doing the right thing. What does it really mean? How do you define good together with the man who's making a career out of it here? William Deed, welcome, sir.
Hello. Hey, how's it going?
Doing good seems so easy and so obvious. Why are we having so much trouble figuring out what good is these days here? Is that what we're going to talk about today here?
That's absolutely what we're going to talk about. And we're going to have fun doing it.
Well, you brought in the guy who knows. He's got all the answers to this question.
Yes, he does.
Did I send him to you ahead of time?
Yeah, your staff prepared him for it.
They're a good team. Yeah.
They're good answers.
Yeah. The reason why I wanted LaVal here is because, am I saying it right? LaVal, right? LaVal. Yeah.
Everybody
LaVal,
wants to say LaVal, me included.
Know,
and why
you know what?
It
sounds sexier, LaVal.
LaVal.
Yeah.
But it's LaVal.
LaVal Brewer, South County Outreach.
South County Outreach.
One is because he's so respected by, and maybe he doesn't believe this, but or he does believe it.
But he's going to pretend he doesn't.
He's so respected by most people here in Orange County. Every time I talk about him, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know who that is. He's great."
It's more infamous then. Yeah. Okay. All right.
When you were talking about possible guests, I'm going through my Rolodex. I said, "Well, he's going to be one of them. LaVal's going to be one of them." In fact, I sent him a thing. And I said, "It would be good for you to be on the show. You got to be on the show."
You did say that.
Yes, you did say that, and we got him.
You got him. Well, here he is.
It's Friday afternoon.
He was open.
I consider it a blessing. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, same here.
So introduce yourself to the people and who you are.
That's the hardest question you got. It really is.
All right.
I mean, that's the hardest question I'm going to answer. I hate introducing myself. I really do. I don't know what it is about me introducing myself, but my standard answer is I'm the lucky father of 3 beautiful human girls.
Love it.
Just great human people. Husband to the person who made those 3 beautiful human girls.
Wow.
And nonprofit servant leader who's just trying to do good in the world.
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt for one thing? I'm
Sure.
going to do it every so often here. That is a good answer, and that shows you're a good guy. 99% of the people come in here and they say immediately, I'm the CEO, I do this, and they go through the resume. And then they say, oh, and I got a couple of kids and a great wife.
I love that right away.
Right off the bat. What's most important?
That's so cool. So cool.
Yeah,
that's my thing too.
Yeah.
That's absolutely my thing. When I think about my why, and I know it's not about me, this show's about you, but when I think about my why, that's my why. You know, my 2 daughters are everything to me. My grandson and my wife. I've been married for 30 years. And man, they're my guiding force, you know, for why I get up in the morning. So I know it's not about me, but now
it's about us. We're talking together.
It's about us.
The conversation together.
So you're the CEO of the South County Outreach. And how long have you been doing that?
Just over 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, just over 5 years. Started in 2020.
And do you love it? Obviously, you love it.
I love everything I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do anything I don't love.
Yeah.
Like literally, if I don't love it, it's not getting done.
Love it.
So I think we're getting some things done. Yeah. So yeah, I love it. It's difficult because you're constantly working with people who are struggling, who are in poverty, who are didn't think they'd ever be in poverty, who saw themselves prosperous, and then the next day the world crashes down around them, and they don't know what happened, and they show up on our doorstep for food or to keep them in the house. So that's difficult, but we do that in a way that just delights people. Yeah, that's the goal, to delight people.
I gotta jump in on that too. LaVal did a show with us for a long time and talked about some of the stuff, so I know some of these stories. The one that sticks in my head, and I said it to somebody just the other day. I actually said it to my son-in-law, who now works for Chase Bank, who came down and volunteered with some other people at your facility, and he'd never been to it. And so they're stocking it. You know, banks want to do good, so they make their managers and employees go out and volunteer and spend time in the community, and they picture your thing. And he observed what I told him is out there that I hear is so different, which is you don't make these people feel bad by asking for help. Some food banks it feels poor. I'm obviously not at a supermarket. I'm in some place and they're handing it's in a box and it's not the best stuff, and I have to stand in a long line to get it and everything. And all those things make me feel worse doing it. And you always said we want it to feel like they're shopping at a supermarket here. And my son-in-law said it did feel like a supermarket.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he had that experience and was able to see what we're trying to accomplish and what the light we're putting on people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think about your story, and again, it's not. I think about like when I was back in 2012, I was laid off from a company, and I was unemployed for a year.
Wow.
And man, my wife and I and my daughters were young at the time, and we went through a real struggle. Probably a year. I remember our mortgage went late about 4 months, and we were about to lose our home and just a number of things. And I just remember these organizations that we relied on just to survive. My wife was working full time, which was a blessing, so we had some money coming in. But we absolutely relied on organizations like yours to survive for a year.
Yeah.
And man, so my hat's off to what you do, and I can see your heart in all this. I see you at these organizations, and I see you speaking to people, and people draw to you, and I look at Dave Elliott, how he's always calling for you to speak and do all these other things, and man, it's just a lot of respect. I see you doing these things, and I'm like, man, that's pretty cool, because I was that guy, where I was like, how am I going to feed my family? And
that's another thing you told stories of people who serve. We tend to think they're chronically homeless, they're whatever. These are they got drug problems or mental health problems or whatever. They just can't. Nobody can help. And yet, there's an awful lot of people like your story fall into a hard trough, and it's hard to get out again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so in that when I think biblically about it all the time, and the poor will always be among us. Now God's not saying the poor like in poor of funds. He's talking about the poor of those who are suffering from sin, but at the same time, if you read the Bible on a regular basis, you're called consistently to help others. And why is that? Because people fall into problems on a consistent basis. Even those who have the most wealth can find themselves in a position where they have nothing.
Yeah.
And should we hold them back for that? No, we should not. We should lift them up. We should engage with them. We should move towards helping them be successful. That's what we're called to do.
I'm going to throw in one more challenge. Maybe this is too harsh for this discussion here, but I'm going to throw it in anyway. I just saw something the other day, because I scour the internet looking for news or new ideas or new guests and stuff. And this notion that has grown up among certain Christian conservative groups that empathy is a sin. If you are too empathetic, then you're going to get suckered into supporting. Well, then I guess it's okay. You're doing what I think is wrong, and I'm trying to understand you, so I'm not going to judge you. And maybe I should be judging you more. Maybe I should be condemning you more. Maybe I shouldn't be as understanding and empathetic. I thought, wow, is that a turnaround of what I view Christianity as? That forget about helping the poor. Screw the poor. They need tough love or something here. I don't know.
Yeah, are they taking my money?
They're taking my money.
Which that's not what's really
Rip
happening.
me off. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think they're confusing empathy with sympathy, and
Maybe.
sympathy is not the right thing. Not called for sympathy. We're called to empathize with people, to care for them and see them as to who they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Google that term, and you'll see a bunch of articles. One just came out the other day about somebody was writing in some magazine that is empathy a sin. And there are certain people saying to be too empathetic. I didn't think you could be empathetic enough, but now it's like maybe I'm too empathetic.
Yeah, they might also be. Well, that's right. We're not going to go on that.
I'm not trying to be. I'm not going to show my old, liberal crazy roots here. But it is a question that goes into defining good. Is it the good for me? Is it the good for you? Is it the good for us?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, along the lines of what we're talking about too, as far as people falling into the situations that they're in a lot of times. So one of my questions actually aligned pretty good with that. So it says many people face food insecurity or housing instability quietly without others knowing. How do you foster togetherness so people feel seen, respected, and supported instead of isolated?
Sure. So, did you ever read Rick Warren's book, Purpose Driven Church and Purpose Driven Life?
I've read Purpose Driven Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he had a book called Purpose Driven Life, and Purpose Driven Church also talked about community. So
This guy from Saddleback Church.
from
for
Saddleback
those that-
Church, yeah, Rick Warren, former founder and senior pastor at Saddleback Church. It talked about community, and in the community, what it said, what he outlined, and he was talking about this community, the community we live in right here in South County. Like, it was this community in this book.
Wow.
And he talked about, and I experienced it myself, where you find a community you love, right school, low crime, great, shopping, all these things, and you find the house.
A good
that's
community.
a good community, right? A good community. And what do we do when we get in that good community? I'm getting to something here. What do we do?
No, you can-
What do we do? So we get in that good community, and what do we do? Because we want our neighbors to be good too. And when we get home, we as we're driving up, we click our garage door if there's room enough in that garage for your car to go in there. And you drive into your garage door, and then you click the door behind it, and it folds down behind you, and you walk in your home.
Wow.
So you choose this good community, right? This community that is perfect, that has got all these things you want, but then you don't actually exist in that community. Your neighbors, you know people outside of that community, outside that neighborhood, more than you know the people who live around your house. So what am I getting at? When people have a hard time, what they should be able to do, and what I think a lot of folks who long for the days of old say, well, the community should rally around you. Okay, but there are times when you don't even know your community, right? So when someone falls into trouble, they should be able to turn to their neighbor and say, I'm struggling here. And actually, the neighbor should already know that they're struggling. But we're so guarded nowadays that we don't want anyone to know that, oh, yeah, I'm not actually making that much money, or, oh, yeah, I can't actually afford this car.
Guarded and gated.
Yeah, guarded and gated. So our goal, and what we've been trying to do with that as an underpinning, is how do you make it so you feel so normal in this space, like especially those who never would see themselves in a food pantry, are let's say begging for money to pay their rent. How do you help them have enough courage and feel normal about the fact that they're just going through something that allows them to then let their defenses down, to be vulnerable, to allow someone to come alongside of them and help them, instead of saying, no, I'm all right, I'm good. It's like, no, I'm not okay. Okay, well then let's all work together, because you're part of my community, you're part of our community. Let's help you be good. Let's help you be settled.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. Yeah. No, absolutely.
And when you go in, you don't feel bad
Yeah.
about asking for help.
Yeah. Sometimes they feel too good. Sometimes they do. It's rare, but it happens.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think what that does, what that did for me is make me more sensitive toward people that are dealing with that kind of thing, and because we see it all the time, and I just try to help where I can, and
You're doing good.
Yeah, I just tell people, look, I don't have a lot of money, but if you need somebody to lift some boxes or move some stuff around or give out some food on the street, I'm your guy. You know what I mean? And that's what I try and do. But I love the idea of that, and because some people are embarrassed to ask for help, and they're really afraid to, like, not so much afraid, but just that inner pride. It's like, man, I don't want people to know what I'm going through.
Yeah. And you're doing it by yourself, and that's not the right way. That's not the right way to live. The right way to live is to live in community with people, and that means that sometimes the bad things that are happening in your life have to be explored, so that others can help you through those. Because no one wants you to suffer in that space.
Right.
I'm reminded, I'm from the Midwest, and most of my relatives, not me, but most of my relatives lived in little towns. I grew up in the big cities. And a couple times through the years, I've had to go back to those little towns. Somebody died, usually. And how the community turns out. 2,000 people in the community, and there's 2,000 people at their door or at the funeral or whatever. Everybody, and I always said that was what I hated about little towns. Everybody knew your business. Everybody knew what was going on. Yeah. But there's a time when that's really nice, and they do come together. I don't know that would happen in my nice tract home community here, because like you're saying, I'm not even trying to even know who my neighbors' names are. We have front porches, and nobody ever sits on the front porch, right? It's all in the back.
Sitting on the stoop.
No sitting on the stoop. In New York.
I've been in my home for 25 years, and I think I've sat on my front porch maybe 8 times since I've been there. Kind of sad to
So
say.
we're behind the door. We're behind the gate.
Yeah,
We're behind
yeah,
the garage. We're in the
exactly.
backyard. Yeah.
So when you think about defining good together in context, right? As far as what you do, how do you decide? Is your culture and your organization, is it defined by you as a CEO, or is it a team effort as far as making decisions and all those kind of things?
Well, yeah, it's going to start and stop with me, because I could destroy culture, I can destroy health, organizational health, with just a couple of words or actions. Actually, my actions are actually much more detrimental to destroying culture and health than my words, because what I do really dictates that. So in that, my actions around my team or our team is really around how do we have hospitality, hospitality in a food pantry, hospitality in a homeless prevention work. Well, yeah, that we can do that because we know how we want to be treated. We know how we want to feel. We know what feels good. We know that doesn't feel good. So human behavior dictates a lot of what we do. So when we think about how would we want to be interacted with in the food pantry, we craft almost everything around that feeling, and not just the let's make sure the volunteers are good so they're good to people. It's like let's be directly good with people.
Yeah.
Let's be directly connected with people. Let's treat people with honor and respect. The words we use that help the people know that we love them and that we care for them. Those are powerful ways of leading through the work. But I may start it, but our team are the ones who actually maintain it,
Right.
and they're the ones who are distributing it on a regular daily basis. I'm just the chief reminder of who we are. I'm the chief reminder of what we do. I'm a chief reminder of our beliefs.
Yeah.
Because if I don't say it and I don't walk it, then it isn't. Right.
Yeah.
But then I gotta let people do what they do, right? Which is hire good people, hungry, humble, smart people who are going to help the organization be as healthy as they possibly can,
Right.
and deliver upon a service that is beneficial to the human being they're working with.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I love that.
I never heard those two together, hungry and humble. Those seem to be opposite. The hungry guy is usually not the humble guy.
Yeah. It's a book by Patrick Lencioni called The Ideal Team Player.
Never heard that.
He sparks on hungry, humble, and smart.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Never heard that.
I love it. How do you foster? I mean, obviously, I see you out there all the time, but how do you take care of those relationships that you fostered? I mean, you've been around in the nonprofit space for a long time, right? I mean, looking at you've worked for One OC, I think, at one time, and some other things. But how do you
Worked for the YMCA for decades.
YMCA?
Yeah.
How do you foster when you meet people? How do you nurture those relationships as far as keeping them? I think, like, even for me, being out here for the 2 years that I have, and Eric even told me this, my CEO, he's like, you look at people as you're making friends while you're out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's me. I'm a person. I talk to people. I want to go have coffee with them. I want to get to know them, and he's like, that's good. That's you. That's who you are. And I love that about you. How do you foster and how do you nurture those relationships that you've developed out here in, say, Orange County or LA or whatever you work through?
I that's a good question. I've never really thought of it. I know what I do, and that is I treat everyone as though they're a friend. I have a high level of early trust. I don't think you're going to try to rip me off or do something to me that is detrimental, even though there are times I walk into very uncomfortable spaces. What I mean by that, I'll cookies on the bottom shelf. Being a black man, you walk into a room full of nothing but white people, and some would be stressed about that. And I've had to say, you know what, I'm going into a space where there are people.
Yeah.
And I just walk in that space thinking that I'm going to meet people who are nice. Now here's the weird thing about that, and this is probably going to shock you and others. Like, every time I say it, people go, "What?" I would.
I'll say it already. What?
If given the opportunity to go to an event after work where there are people I know and there's stuff to do, or to go home and have a beer and sit by myself, guess which one I choose? I fit home by myself.
Really?
I'm a social introvert, so
That seems the opposite of
it's
who
wild.
you project.
I know.
I don't see any of
I
that
know.
when he's out there.
Yeah,
It's like-
it doesn't. But only because when I'm out and about, especially when I'm out and about and I know people, I'm gonna treat you like I'm gonna hug you up. I'm gonna dap you up. I'm
You
gonna
hugged me as you came in today.
Sure
I'm
did,
like,
didn't I?
I'm from the Midwest. I'm like, what's this guy hugging me for?
I hug men who I know. I hug men I know don't want to be hugged. I'm like, hey, come up in here. Get up in here.
You and Charles Antis.
Yeah, let's touch some. Yeah, that's my buddy. We hug
Oh,
together. We hug
he hugs
hard.
every time he comes in. I'm like,
We do.
"Charles, knock it
We
off."
hug so hard I can hear his. We can hear each other's heart bumps. But so what I'm getting at is, treat people as though they're your friend. I'm going back to that community thing. There's something when you're in community, when you're in the community where you know it, and you feel it. There's something about like you're floating. Everything's good. So someone's got to be responsible for continuing to move that forward.
Right.
I see that as, I don't necessarily see that as my responsibility, but I definitely am not going to be pulling away from it. I'm definitely not going to be dipping out of someone's bucket because I'm not having a great day.
Right.
My mom said, bless her soul. She would say, if you get up and you have a bad day, get back in bed and get back out.
I love that.
Okay. If you have a
Start
bad
over.
day, start over, get back in bed,
Yeah.
get your mind right, and get back out.
Yeah.
And then go and treat people well, and treat them like your friend.
Yeah, I've learned that. I mean, I grew up with this fear, of. I was raised in South Central LA, and I grew up with
Same
this.
here.
I grew up with this fear that, and I think it said, I don't know if it's called imposter syndrome or what it is, but I spent so many years thinking, man, I'm not good enough to be in this circle of people and all that. And now I've just learned, and maybe because I'm an old man now, I don't really care anymore. It's like I walk into a room and I'm like, look, I'm gonna make everybody my friend in this room. It's up to them whether they accept it or not. My handshake, who I am as a person, but I've had to learn that just by, and I think a part of it, like I said, is getting older and just not caring anymore as far as what people think about me. But man, it's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I had a great mentor. He's retiring soon, Eric Mann at the YMCA. He's in Florida right now, and man, Eric would walk around the room, and I'd just watch him walk around the room, and he would talk to everybody, and just, we're talking big rooms, not small rooms, and he had presence, and he wasn't having presence to have presence. He was fun to be with.
Yeah.
Very tough person. Like wanted to get stuff done, and expected you to get it done, but at the same time, he cared about you.
Yeah.
So I had some great examples.
I love that.
You made me think. I got to ask this question. We're trying to define good. Is good a feeling? Because you said several times that you feel good. It makes you feel good. The people around you feel good. You walk in a room, he made people feel good. Or is it a tangible thing I can touch and measure?
You may not be able to touch and measure it, but you know it when you experience it. So Jim Collins, good to great, right? So that's one of the things. That's the only piece I prepared for this. When you said good, I was like, okay, what's good, right? Well, first of all, to answer your question, Paul and William, in my mind, good is the basic starting point for someone who's doing something right? Good is, if you're doing good, okay, cool, all right, keep going.
Yeah.
You can't keep doing good. You gotta be moving towards great. So good is the floor. It is satisfactory.
It's not the ceiling you're shooting for.
No.
It's the floor you start with.
Yeah, it, and below that is bad, right? So we know what bad is.
Yeah,
we know what bad looks like. We know what bad feels like. We know what bad, how to experience bad. No one wants bad.
And you can measure bad.
You can get that real quick.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about good. Enough money, is it good enough? Is your house good enough? Is it big enough?
Is he volunteered enough? Is he good enough?
Is my body good enough?
Right, good enough to people?
Yeah, all these things, and that's satisfactory. Now, there's nothing wrong with satisfactory. I tell people this all the time. Satisfactory is it's good. You should be shooting for satisfactory. But once you get satisfactory, then it's a whole nother conversation. Then it's not necessarily great, it's better. Like, so to get to great, in my mind, good to great is Jim Collins' book, and he has some things in there that you can use. But in my mind, once we get to good, now we're like, how do we get better? When we get better, then when people start calling you great.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're better, and you're better from the satisfactory good part. So yeah, the only way to get to great, you got to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that.
Well, you define good in a way I never thought of. It's the floor.
It's the floor.
Yeah.
It's the floor.
No, that's good. That's good. I have one more question for you.
Sure. You can have two if you want.
So, I think about, obviously I work at a college. I work with young people, and what I try to, there's a few things. Obviously, my lecture or my encouragement to a lot of our students is, do something that you love as opposed to do something because you're going to make a lot of money. And those are lessons that I've learned through my own life. I'm sure we've all, I've taken jobs where they paid me an exorbitant amount of money, and I'm like, man, this is awesome, but I hated the job.
It wasn't a good job.
Yeah. And so I guess my question for you is, when I think about what you're doing, how you got there, and all these other things, what would you tell somebody, a young person that's trying to accomplish what you've accomplished, as far as, like, what should be their course to get, because the world is jacked up right now. Obviously, that, people are breaking into stores. There's just so many bad things that are happening. And I see all these young people online doing all these things, and my heart is broken because I'm like, they just don't get it. That life is so much more than a nice pair of shoes, or breaking into a store and stealing a watch or whatever it might be. And they've got their whole lives to do something, and so that's always my encouragement to somebody young. So for you coming up, and you're CEO of a company, you've achieved great things, you're respected. How can a young person, that, say a young college student that just start off, what advice would you give them that would get them on the right course to accomplish what you've accomplished, and to have that level of respect that you have in the community?
Well, that's a lot of questions.
Sorry.
It's all right. No, it's all good. It's all good. I will go back to treat people well. First of all, your relationships that you create with others are the foundation for your networks and your foundations for your potential growth. Right. So the first thing is, you gotta treat people well, and you gotta treat yourself well. You have to believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. Now, you can't believe in yourself like, hey, I got it. Right. You got to believe that you can do it. You got to believe that you're going to try to do it. And then you have to understand where the barriers that are, and within that, like, what are the barriers that you have that you might have to figure out how to overcome. Now, we're not talking about strengths versus weaknesses. We're talking about just barriers, like the things in front of you. Maybe knowledge, maybe mentorship, it may be location, it might be education, it might be resources, whatever. Understand what those barriers are, and then take them as they are. Right? Take them as they are, and constantly, continuously move those barriers out of your way to drive towards wherever you're trying to get to. Now, you talked about money. Yeah, money's great.
Yeah.
Money's great, but if you don't have happiness, you don't have joy, joy in particular, if you don't have joy, then, what good is money if you don't have joy?
Yeah.
And what is joy? Joy is relationships. Joy is people. Joy is the ability to do what you said you can do, right? So a lot of people actually say they don't want my job. I've had several people go, I can't do what you do. I'm like, yeah, you can. They're like, no, I can't. I'm like, that's fine. You do what you need to do. Right. You do right. You do your way.
And why? What is it that they can't do in your job?
You know what? They see me working with people constantly. They're seeing me work with people who are not happy. They see me making hard decisions about people's livelihoods, staff and clients. Mm-hmm. They know that I'm responsible for all of their income, right?
That's true. Everybody walks into your stores is probably not having a good day.
Most people are not having a good day. They leave having a good day. They leave with joy. They leave with joy.
Love
but
that.
so those who I don't think you want to aspire to be. I don't think you should be aspire to be put the letters behind your name. I think you should aspire to be the best version of who you are.
Love it.
If you could be the best version of who you are, if you can find a way to have enough income based upon what you love to do and what you want to do, and more so that you can have joy in your life when you're not doing that, that's what I would tell a young person to do. Sure, are there some jobs I'd be like, you may not want to do that,
Yeah.
right? and that's wisdom, right? That's wisdom that by the way will eventually, my wisdom in that will peter out. But my wisdom around, and what I would say to people is ask more questions of young people. So a young person says, I want to have your job. My first question is why? Like, why do you want my job?
Not how, but why.
Yeah, why? Next question, and the next question is, what are you willing to do to have this job?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna ask more questions. Like, what makes you want to do this job? What is it? Money? Because if it's money, there's lots of ways to make money.
Absolutely.
And you don't need a title to make money. Dock worker makes more money than I do.
And nonprofits aren't historically the way to make big money here. Yeah.
But man, you can get paid in love, though.
Yeah.
Paid in love. You get paid in love.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
All we need is love.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I have one more last question, but
Yeah.
I already know the answer. You gave it, I think, when you first started. Like, why do you do this? Why do you do what you do? But, you talked about your family, which is beautiful. And, where do you think you're going to go from here?
Oh, that's a really good question. Why do I do what I do? The reason why I'm in the job I'm in right now is because God continuously opened new doors for me to move through. That is my ambition was my joy of being involved in things, but my resources that said, hey, by the way, you can make some money and other things were lacking. And fortunately that fired up the other part of my life, which actually was my purpose.
Wow.
So my purpose put in my heart by God and revealed to me after I got to a point to where I was doing this was, I'm here to serve others and to provide them with something that brings them what they need, and that my leadership is something that I believe, and I could be wrong about this, my leadership is something that help other people get to the places they need to be.
Yeah.
So I do this for others.
And you literally serve people food.
I don't personally, but other people
But
do.
yeah, I mean, you with the organization, right?
Yeah. I take out the trash, though.
Okay.
I take out the trash.
All right.
Take out
Then
trash
then
pretty
you're
regularly.
a good CEO.
Yeah, take out trash. I actually had a volunteer walk up to me the other day, and she said, "LaVal, I don't know how you do it." I go, "Well, what I do now?" And she said, "The other day, one of our clients dropped a huge bottle of water, a bottle of sparkling water. It was big, a bottle." And it shattered all over the place. And I had just walked in. I had a shirt on. I had pants. I wasn't casual. And I was like, "It's cool. It's fine." And he's like panicking. I'm like, "Take it easy, man. It's all right. No problem. We got this. He kept shopping. I started sweeping up. Started pulling together. My staff's like, "We got it." I'm like, "I'm already here, bro.
Yeah.
I'm already here. Let's just do this. I'm fine. Like this is what we do." So showing like what I said earlier, like, my words are one thing, but my example is something different. And sometimes my words are ambitious. They're scaling high. They're big. Reach for the stars. But my actions, I believe, show like, and do it with, care and curiosity and vulnerability, and you do those things, and I think a lot of people will find love in their hearts for you.
Which is why you're a good guy.
I'm a good guy.
Good guy.
And
Yeah,
a good leader. A couple of good guys. How do we reach these good guys here? If we want to be a good guy or learn more about being a
do we
good
reach
guy,
it?
we'll start with LaVal.
Well, you don't need to reach me, but if you need support,
I'm a good guy, but don't reach out to me here.
Why did I figure he was going to say something like that?
I've got a great team who actually embodies all this stuff. So you can.
So how did they get involved in this good team? How did they join?
If you want to volunteer, or if you want to support your community, just go to sco-oc.org. That's our website.
South County Outreach.
South County Outreach. Just type in South County Outreach, and remarkably, it will show up. the amazing things in the internet these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it used to be Yellow Pages.
That wasn't a
Yellow
good way to do
Pages.
things. Talking about good, that was
We
never
lost
good.
more trees in the Yellow Pages than we did in the
I
internet.
remember the Yellow
Yeah,
Pages.
yeah,
Used to
yeah,
throw one
yeah.
on my porch. Boom.
And William,
Well, for me, Oak
good way
Valley,
to reach you.
William Deed at wdeed@oakvalley.edu, or you can go to LinkedIn, which I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. So that's William L. Deed. You can message me there, or you can call me if you're interested in enrolling at Oak Valley College. 2-year, 8-month program. I talk about this at the end of every show. 2-year, 8-month program, bachelor's degree, debt free. Call me at 562.
Which is a good thing in today's world. I don't know how you
Absolutely.
still do
Great
that.
thing.
$1.7 trillion student loan crisis right now. So
Yeah.
debt free. 562-965-5155. I'll get you lined up with our admission counselors and get you going.
All
So
right.
it'll be a blessing.
Good to hear you guys talk about it. I'm still not sure. I got a definition today finally out of somebody. It's the floor. Doing good's the floor.
It's the floor.
It's the start. All right. Thanks for joining us. That's what we talk about each and every show on this one. Can we come up with a common definition? What is good? And can we do it together? How about that? Let's unpack leadership, loyalty, and doing the right thing. Right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, bringing everybody together here at UCI's Beal Applied Innovation Center.